there are basically two types of approaches. There's insight leading to action, and action leading to insight or transformation. In Relationships That Work, the second edition, on page 192, I have a quote by someone named Jerome Bruner, and he writes, you're more likely to act yourself into feeling than to feel yourself into action. You're more likely to act yourself into feeling than to feel yourself into action. Now, so we want to cultivate expertise in both types of approaches because they're both vital in transformative coaching. In practically every session, there's action-oriented, insight-oriented. We've often said every quality session has awareness raising. Most quality sessions have action planning. So oftentimes the transformation is in the action. Now, of course, if there's an overemphasis on action, behavior, goals, then it can be like a hollow behavioralism. Like I achieved that. And at the same time, if there's an overemphasis on insight, analysis, catharsis, emotional connection, without sufficient emphasis on transformation in action, then it can be a sort of analysis paralysis. So I want to be attuned, which in response to Dave's sharing, I want to be attuned. Like, what's the meta view? Sometimes I'm asking myself, what's missing here? Not that there's always something missing. Sometimes there's integrated balance and it feels complete and perfect. But I want to be attuned. What might be missing here? That is the client like making to-do lists and action and accomplishments, and is part of that avoiding what's happening inside? I want to note that. I want to note my perception of it. Is what's happening, yeah, maybe this. I remember one client, this was a client, this was many years ago, but it's coming to me now. And she was very, very fluent in transformation process and communication, very intelligent, very self-aware client. And she'd done many sessions with me, really years of sessions. And she was doing just a lot of internal work, looking at, her responsibility, her emotions, what's grungy, what's healthy emotion. And she came to my home office and she sat, we were about 10 minutes into a session and she was connecting with this, analyzing that. And then right there, she said, I'm sick of all this. I'm just sick of all this. So I knew what she meant, because she wanted to go into action. She was tired of hearing herself analyze herself and feel her feelings. She was just tired of it. And it was all healthy process, but she knew that some of her process, as healthy and self-aware as it was an avoidance of going into action, stretching herself into her life, achieving goals, and often in the client or ourselves going into challenging action that's aligned with life purpose, that's commitment driven. Then so much transformation comes that will not happen from catharsis or analysis